Alrighty, it made it. I got it up to the station. I have a month to get it done in this bay. Actually now 3 weeks, something like that. Anyway, so thought I'd give you all another overview of what's going on with the Rustang. I've had the car for like 20 plus years. It started out needing rear frame rails. We did the rear frame rails. We did the floor pans. By the time I had time, you know, life gets in the way. By the time I got all that done, then the front rails were rusty. As you can see here, here's the passenger side. Front rail is completely gone. Then over here, look, they're even gone on the inside. Here's the driver's side. The driver's side's worse. The driver's side, the rust goes from here all the way under the control arm, all the way. These are the bolts that hold the steering box in to here. And then I just realized that when we were moving it around, we try to steer it, the frame's gone ahead and broken in two right there. So the frame's broken. So game plan. First game plan is, G Junior's already been, you know, we have a bunch of parts. So he's already been painting up the strut rods and the brake stops, the tire wheel stops, actually the wheel stops for the front. So he's got those all painted up. Dan, the Mustang man, gave us those springs. We're going to use those springs. And then the next process is we're going to clean the car out. Clean the car out, vacuum it all out, put the car dolly straps back in. There's some more parts over there for the car that we got from Dan, the Mustang man. Then we're going to get the engine crane out. G Junior has the torque converter all disconnected, all the bell housing bolts disconnected. We need to disconnect the trans lines here. We need to disconnect the motor mounts, and look at that fabulous $8 engine hooky tool thingy, whatever you want to call it. Lift plate. There we go, lift plate. $8. Thank you, Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So we got to get the motor out, then we'll get the trans out. Once we get the motor and trans out, we'll get it up on the jack stands, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do our measurements. I'll probably take a point somewhere here and go maybe from, I don't know, I wish I had a point. We're going to go from this, we're going to go from a point here all the way up front to here. We're going to go another point from there up to here. And then we're going to do a cross point, probably from the strut tower over, and then maybe also, I don't know if he cut this here or that's factory. I have to look at the other front end, don't have it here. And then we'll do another cross measurement from here over and here over. And then once we get it up in the air, we're going to do a measurement from the frame here down on both sides, maybe make a little jig to set it on. We're not going to be using probably any of this stuff except for the shocks. The shocks are still good, I do believe. These are the good, these are the KYB gas adjust shocks. They appear to still be good. We'll just run them for now. You know, they're easy enough to change. You know, they'll probably start leaking, but no, they look good. We'll take them out, we'll clean up the shafts, so if when they do start working, you know, they won't ruin the seal. So that's the game plan. First, we're gonna get the engine out, gonna get the transmission out, then we're gonna do our measurements. Actually, we're gonna put it up in the air first. We're gonna put it on jack stands, then we're gonna take our measurements. All right, so we wiped down the car really fast today because it was pretty dirty. You know, most people run to the do-it-yourself car washes. Well, there's no do-it-your-car washes around here. So, all right, so Project Rustang is here, getting ready to be worked on. We will come back with pulling the engine out. Wow. Check out the Corvette. Alrighty. We have to run back home after work. We're gonna get the engine crane so we can get this engine taken out. All right, well, we're already working on it. We got the trunk open. We're kind of straightening up stuff in the trunk. The inside was a mess. So we just got done unloading everything. We're not gonna worry about that stuff. That stuff's not in the way. We vacuumed up all the floorboards. There was a mouse nest in the glove compartment, but it's gone. We have a bunch of stuff here that we're not throwing away. And here's a better look at the front brakes that I bought from Dan, the Mustang man. Look at those things, are barely even used. He decided he went with a Mustang 2 front suspension and put a different motor in. I don't understand why all the wheel studs are missing, but brand new wheel cylinders, brand new shoes, hardware kits. The hoses don't look that bad, and he even capped them, but I went ahead and bought a new set of hoses. I have a new set of hoses. Same thing over here. They all look good. Everything looks good over there. I'm not reusing these control arms. Hell, these control arms don't even have a lube spot in it. They must have been aftermarkets. Anyway, we're not using any of this stuff. The control arms, excuse me. We're going to use the brake spindle and everything, and we will be using, that's it. All right, so then we got it a little bit cleaned up underneath the hood. We got to get the engine crane. Once we get the engine crane, we'll start working on getting the engine out. Alrighty, well, we worked on the Mustang for a couple of hours. Basically, all we did was clean. So we got inside and we cleaned all the crap out. Those are the springs we're going to use. That's just crap, but it's out of the way so we can get in here and work to do this front end. But we got all this cleaned out and vacuumed out, and we went and got the engine crane. Let's see that we've used 6 times already in this lifetime. Hold on. No, it's straight up. Now we're trying to get the motor mount bolts disconnected. Sorry about that, a customer came in and talked to me. But anyway, G Junior's trying to get the motor mount bolts disconnected, which are these bolts right here underneath. So he's trying to get those busted free, and we cleaned up a little bit more over here and in here. So he's trying to get the bolts loose. We already have the bell housing bolts disconnected, the starter's out. He's got all the linkages off, the transmission kickdown linkages off. Everything should be ready to go. He's just trying to get the bolts out of the motor mount. So once he gets those motor mount bolts out, we'll come back and show you the motor being ripped out. Alrighty, G Junior finally got the motor mount bolts taken out. They're 5/8 fine thread, and pretty weird. No, nothing uses fine thread anymore. All right, go ahead, start bringing it up. We got a transmission, floor jack underneath the transmission. Yeah, it's coming. Come on, keep going up a little bit. All right, hold it right there. Here, hold the camera. Let me go get a pry bar. We'll see if we can transition. Let's separate. Sure you have all the bolts out of the transmission?
Yes.
Are you 100% sure?
Yes.
Looks like we're good on this side. Let me sneak over here and peek. Yeah, I guess we're just stuck on the dowel pins. right, there we go. It's coming. Alright, there's that side. Alright, here. Go ahead and bring it on up. Yeah. Alright, start trying to slide it out. Alright, well, wait a minute. We got wires. We still have wires connected here. We've got. And we got nasty coolant spilling all over the place. Nasty coolant going all over the place. Let's see. Oh, am I lucky? Am I lucky? Is everything not bolted in? It's just laying here. It's just laying there. So there's the engine harness.
Oh boy, that is some nasty coolant.
Yeah, let's bring it on up. All right, pull back on it, please. Oh, why, thank you. Ugh. You got schmagged. Well, I guess we'll just let it sit here for a minute and let the coolant drain out. Nothing left hooked up, right?
I don't think so. Transmission. Obviously it was got somebody's markings on the transmission. Can't read that. What is that? Bic Moss? I don't know. We'll look at it when we get the transmission out. Alrighty, well, we got the motor free. I guess we should have hooked it on the other hook. And we'll wait for the coolant to leak out, and then we'll get the rest of the way out and on the engine stand. Alrighty, we got the motor out. It's on the engine stand. We actually had the engine stand bolts because I keep all the engine stand bolts in that bag. So looking at it, as we noticed, I told the one guy, Templar Gold, that this motor's probably been rebuilt. Well, how do you know that? I was like, well, you know, it's out of a 65 Mustang. The whole car was rebuilt supposedly at one time. So he noticed that it has red RTV here holding the manifold on. And then we had to take the flex plate off and the spacer plate off. And if you look down here, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, there's also the same red RTV on the oil pan bolts. That's kind of telling me that the intake and the oil pan were put in on the same time. So there is the nasty rotten frame. Oh, and while Templar Gold was standing here, he has deciphered the message on the torque converter. That is Black Mustang. Hey, go figure. BLKMUS, Black Mustang. So there's the bell housing and the torque converter on the C4. And as you see right here, the frame is just gone. You can wiggle the steering wheel again, Bri. Oh yeah, look at it. It's just completely gone there. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. So we got a parts list going. Looks like we're going to need an idler arm. The idler arm rubber is gone, so we're going to need an idler arm. Front suspension.
The front suspension, we've got the front suspension covered. I've disconnected the brake lines. These are actually stainless steel brake lines. I was going to pop this off and take it over to my brother's and have it powder coated, but what I'm worried about is if I take this off, that is going to collapse. And I haven't done my measurements yet. So I went ahead and loosely put the nut back on here to keep this from popping off. Because I don't want that falling without my measurement. I think, you know, I don't know.
I think once we put the front end up here, it's going to fall into place. But I probably should take some measurements right now.
Take some pictures, probably.
And take some pictures. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get a measuring tape, and we're going to measure. We're going to measure from here to the lip here on both sides and write it down. All right, everybody. I think this video's gone long enough. Pretty boring, but we got the 289 or 302 or whatever it is. You know, we have no idea. There is a number here, but I don't know what the number means, and I'm gonna have to go online and figure out where they put the numbers on the engine. It might be on a boss underneath to figure out if this is the right engine or not. But you can see how clean it is back here, and I do not believe. I believe that freeze plug right there. Yeah, that is not a Ford freeze plug. Looks like they chipped. Is that freeze plug actually leaking? Is that what's leaking? Or is that the freeze plug's actually leaking? The freeze plug is actually that's not a freeze plug. That is the cam plug. Yeah, and see, somebody's got white stuff all over those passages there, and they chipped the block right there. And that's leaking because you know, is the rear main, and I can't tell if the rear main's leaking. I bet you that's what's leaking. It's right there.
Because there's a puddle right there.
Yeah, because there's a puddle right there. Maybe the rear main seal isn't leaking.
You sure?
Yeah, the rear main's probably leaking. But that could be coming from this cam plug. Cam plug. Yeah.
Ooh, that little stinks.
All right. Well, we're gonna need to switch these over to the new car because I didn't get those. So those are gonna have to come out. G Junior can clean those up next week, get them out of here. I don't know if we're going to come down tomorrow and get the trans out. The trans definitely needs to be rebuilt. So not a very interesting video, but a productive one for us. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner there. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my automotive videos and the Rustang series. I've created a playlist with the other Rustang videos from like 2017. Please go and check all those videos out. They're pretty good too. And we will catch you all on the next one.